We open up with a scene of a little girl crying and a nun consoling her with the narration that our children are good. Kids, they're angelic, unlike any other children in the world, and not anyone can just become their parents because these children are for special parents. As a fat guy comes along, telling one of the kids that he is going to be his dad from now on, these children have also received special education, a very special education, in fact. Suddenly, as the kid and his parent leave, the nun's expression changes, telling all the kids that it's enough now and that it's training time. As all the kids also get serious and take out a bunch of weapons, she firstly tells Ellie to not let her nose run when she is pretending to cry, since parents may hate children who appear slow-witted or dense. Just like that, she blows her snot and says that she would keep that in mind. The pastor is watching them from a window, saying that this education is a gift for them. These children were trained as weapons the moment they started walking. They are thoroughly raised under special disciplinarians, and because of that, each one of them is extremely expensive to nurture. Now, someone asks what these children are used for, and the pastor replies, these children are like supercomputers. How they are used is determined by the buyers. The parent who just bought the kid shows him a photo of the target and tells him to memorize his face, and due to the children being dangerous, safety measures were taken. Certain rules were imprinted on them from a young age that they absolutely cannot disobey, which are called 3 absolute principles. These principles are designed to ensure that the buyer can control the children. It's crucial to remember them. Inside the car, the kid tells his supposed parent that there is a car following them, and the guy replies, asking what did he say. The guy gets angry and tells him to simply shut up and memorize the face instead, and the kid replies with a very static and robotic tone, yes, order received, father. The first principle is that the parent's words are absolute. Suddenly, the car that was following them collides with their car. Their car rolls over, crashing, and both the kid and his parent are heavily injured. The second principle is that they cannot use their power without the parent's permission, and as 2 guys come around looking for the parent, the kid starts to cry and asks them to help his dad since he is not breathing. They both let their guard down, as they did not expect a kid to be with him. They wonder if they should just get rid of him as well, but decide to simply dump him somewhere and leave since he is just a kid. When the guy starts to check up on the kid, we get to know about the last and most important principle. Suddenly, while in the middle of speaking, the kid stabs the guy right in his throat and takes his firearm from him, as the last principle states that in case the parent's safety is threatened, the kid will ignore the above 2 rules and resolve the situation. Back to the pastor, he calls them very good children and asks the unknown person if he would like to make a purchase. The unknown person picks out one. The pastor replies that this child, unfortunately, will not be possible, calling him the only blemish on their organization. Though his abilities were the highest among all of their children, he was a true elite, and the pastor was also very fond of him personally as well, but they lost him, more like he disappeared. They have tried tracking him down, but without his parent, he cannot use his power, so he would not draw any attention, and by now, he might be living as an ordinary child somewhere or perhaps might even be dead. As we see someone punch a blackhead glasses guy, the glasses guy's name is who? The person who hit him says that the last hit really landed, isn't it? As Hyunho grunts in pain and curses, hearing him curse, the guy intimidates him and asks, what did he just say? Ha replies that he said 15. The punch he threw was 15 points worth. The other bullies with the guy comment that it's quite generous and that Joseph's punch would indeed be worth 15 points as they high-five each other. Just as Joseph is about to kick him to rate it, a blonde guy comes running, wanting to be the next person to try, and he lightly taps Hu and asks him how many points it was worth. Joseph starts to get pissed. Hu curses at the blondie, and he mishears it as 52, but Hyo repeats the curse word again at him. The others clear that Hyo is indeed cursing at him, and his damage meter is really strict, but Blondie, whose name is Park Cheyenne, replies that Hyo must be malfunctioning. While looking at Park Cheyenne, who is annoyed at him and thinks that he could easily beat him up, Joseph asks him what is he doing and slaps Cheyenne and tells him to not get cocky, as he was already hitting Hyuno before him, asking if he understood what he is trying to say. Cheyenne clenches his fist tightly and smiles, saying that it was a solid hit and rates it as 150,000 points and compliments Joseph on his physique as someone who has studied abroad, due to which his physique is completely different. He goes on about praising Joseph, asking how much he benches and all. Hearing all that, he leaves them both alone while calling him an idiot and telling him to buy some cigarettes for him, which he unhappily agrees to do so. Cheyenne claims that he would definitely get him next time and calls him quite cool when he uses his American accent. While looking at him, Hyo again thinks that he could easily beat him up. Cheyenne chokes Hyo, asking if he really said 52 instead of cursing, which annoys Hyuno. Cheyenne tells him to come with him, as he is really dead for real today. Suddenly, we see them both sitting and eating food, with Cheyenne telling him to buy him tteokbokki as he is running out of money due to running errands for Joseph, which H agrees with while thinking of him as a rascal. Looking at Hyo's expression, Cheyenne tells him that he gives the money to Joseph, but not to him, which is not fine, and Hyo replies that it's not that, it's just about this place. Cheyenne replies that it's indeed quite fascinating that the shop's name is the same as Hyo's name, but Hyo clarifies that it's his mom's shop, and his mom happily tells Cheyenne to eat all he wants and gives him some fish cakes as well, as he is Hyun's friend. Cheyenne realizes that it's due to him that his mom has named it like that, while Hyo is troubled, as he managed to hide the shop until now, but out of all the people who could have known about it, he was caught by someone like him. Cheyenne then says he cannot act like a stranger since it's Hyo's mom's shop. Hearing this, Hyo wonders what is he planning to do and prepares a pen to attack him with, and just as he calls out to Hyo's mom, we see Hyo attack him. But Cheyenne is actually bowing down and apologizing for not introducing himself earlier, and then introduces himself as Io's friend, who is surprised upon seeing it, as he talks to his mom about how the shop's name is quite unique, and his mom replies that Hyo always told her to not make it like that, which prompts Cheyenne to tell Hyo it's not good to say that since she works so hard for him. Hyo starts to think that there is no telling what Cheyenne would do if he stays here. As such, he tries to push him away by saying that they need to go, as more of their friends are waiting for them. Upon hearing that, Hyo's mom packed some food for the rest of his supposed friends as well, who tells her not to, but Chan gets excited and asks if it's really for free, and she replies that it is, since she does not need to sell any more today. As Cheyenne is taking all the food from her hands, Hyunho gets worried and requests to her mom to not do it inside himself, but his mom tells Cheyenne that all of Hyo's friends are like her own children as well, prompting Cheyenne to reply that indeed they are, all the while Hyuno is breaking up inside and saying that he is not what she thinks he is, who grabs Cheyenne and requests him to do a favor and not tell Joseph or any other guys about this shop. He tells him to not worry, as he would handle it, and leaves, while his mom tells Cheyenne to bring his other friends along next time, and he replies that he will, which makes Hyo incredibly worried. As Cheyenne leaves, Hyo asks his mom why she is doing such a thing, and he shouts at her to not act like she knows him, while wondering to himself that he is such a stupid person and questions why is he yelling at his mom. His mom tells him that she was simply happy to see his friends for the first time and apologizes to Hyo, and he frustratingly thinks, why is she apologizing? She continues that she just wanted him to get along with his friends and apologizes again to him, while Hyo is irritated as he clenches his fist and thinks, please stop apologizing. If you keep doing that, I will. Suddenly, the scene shifts, and we see a napkin is dropped inside the tteokbokki, and someone is taking it out, asking what the hell is this about to Hyo. We see it's Joseph and other bullies who tell Hyo he knew his mom sells this, but start to complain and bully him on why is there a rag in his food. He shoves it on his face and asks him for a refund since he cannot eat like this, or he could go to his mom and tell her that he is Hyo's friend. Hyo thinks to himself about how he begged Cheyenne to not tell anyone about this, and yet he did this. He then asks Joseph if he really thinks he and him are friends. Joseph asks if he is mad for real about this and tells him that they are friends. It was just a joke between them. He dumps it all over Hyo and tells him that he does not like it, and he would go and tell his mom about everything. Hearing this, Hyo gets pissed and clenches a pen in his hand, which Joseph notices, and he suddenly attacks Joseph with it, targeting his neck, but he remembers his mom and her words that he should get along with his friends and her apology and such. He stops right before his neck as Joseph is also a bit taken back by it, who is still frustrated, and Joseph asks him, what the hell is this about? He gets really up close to him and, with an angry face, asks him again, what the hell is this about? Cheyenne enters the classroom, asking Hyo what is he doing, but stops in the middle and notices the class's atmosphere. He sees some cops and teachers are standing beside a broken window and lots of blood, along with a broken pair of glasses. That day, who was continuously beaten for 15 minutes, he passed out several times and regained consciousness due to the pain several times, and each time he apologized and begged, saying that he was sorry, but the violence did not stop. Nor did anyone intervene to stop it, and in the end, who himself was the one to put an end to the violence. Back to Joseph and his friends, he tells them that they should say they were the ones who pushed Ha while playing around. They reply that they weren't the ones who did anything, but Joseph tells them to not be like that and not worry, as he has asked his dad, and there is a good law in Korea, Juvenile Act. Since he was held back by a year, it does not apply to him. That is why he is asking them to help out, and he instructs them all to turn themselves in for pushing Hyuno. The guy replies, but they could still get sued for all the damages, and Joseph tells them to not worry about that, as there's a way around that as well, as they have not been sued as of yet. With a sinister smile on his face, he says, as long as there is no one to file a lawsuit, there won't be any problem, and that even if they get caught, they would be protected under Juvenile Act, but they still hesitate. As such, Joseph offers them 10 million won per person as an amount as he asks them if they know where Hyo lives, and we see his mom is crying, broken about her son in the apartment all alone. Fast forward at night, and they are climbing up to his apartment, as the guy informs Joseph that it's on the 5th floor. They call the elevator, but Joseph notes and wonders why is it not coming down from the 5th floor and decides to use the stairs instead. As they are about to reach the 5th floor, Joseph notices something. We see a fire extinguisher is stuck on the elevator's door, seemingly on purpose. Joseph wonders, what the hell is this? And some guy in a hoodie asks him, why is he so late? We see it's Cheyenne, who tells Joseph that he got tired of waiting for him. Joseph asks him what is he doing here, and one of them asks Cheyenne to join them as well, but Cheyenne stands up and tells them he would keep it all short and asks how did they get to know about Hyo's snack shop, as that place was his secret spot. Joseph smiles and tells him that he was curious why Cheyenne did not bring him cigarettes and was eating instead with the neighborhood kids, and he found out that their dear Hyo was arguing with his mom in front of the shop, and Cheyenne says that it was due to him. Then he asks Joseph a second question and tells him to answer it carefully. He asks Joseph what is he doing here, and he replies, if it isn't obvious, they are here to see Hyo's mom, who is sleeping carefree after filing a lawsuit against them, and that it's perfect timing as well, since he has been annoyed with him as well, and asks Cheyenne if he really thought he would not notice that he was simply pretending to bully Hyo and was actually helping him instead. He starts to get pissed while saying that he must have taken him for a fool all this time. Cheyenne tells him that is enough for him and starts to pick up the fire extinguisher, and Joseph comes running towards him to attack him, but Cheyenne aims it towards Joseph while thanking him to confirm his suspicion, though he was expecting it already. But he needed to be sure. We see Cheyenne use it and create a large smokescreen in front of them, and Joseph orders his men to go and get him. Suddenly, Cheyenne throws the fire extinguisher towards one of the guys, which hits him right on his face. He falls right on Joseph, which blocks him from going towards Cheyenne, while Cheyenne is taking care of other guys. But Joseph stands up again and rushes towards him. He attacks him with an iron pipe, but Cheyenne blocks it and slips right under it and attacks Joseph's foot with a fire extinguisher. Joseph screams in pain and shouts that his foot is broken. Cheyenne starts to walk towards him while saying that it's the metatarsal bones above his uniform bone that are broken, and he won't be able to walk now, while Joseph asks him why is he doing this to him. Cheyenne says the 3 principles imprinted on the children. First is the parents' words are absolute, while he punches Joseph right on his face, and the second principle, without parents' permission, he cannot use his power. As everyone is confused and wonders just what the hell is Cheyenne talking about, he grabs Joseph by the collar, and Joseph starts to apologize and begs for mercy, asking him to spare him, while Cheyenne recites the last principle. In the event the parent's safety is threatened, ignore the above 2 principles and resolve the situation. He remembers what Hyun's mom said about Hyo's friends being like her own children, hence, Cheyenne tells him that it means they all threatened his mom, and he can crush them now due to it. As we see Cheyenne stomping right on Joseph's head, finishing him off, we switch scenes to the orphanage. The nun comes in, telling the director that there's a call from Korea. The director asks who it is, and she replies that it's from the White Tiger workforce. Knowing it's them, he asks her to hand the phone over to him. As he takes over the phone and says, "Hello," the White Tiger force informs him that they think they have found him, the lost legend of the Dead Mansion, codename Sha, is in Korea, and we are fully introduced to our main character. Dead Mansion's special training multi-purpose weapon project, Good Child, code name Shaw. Out of all the children that were made by the Dead Mansion, he was the best working undercover, weapon skills, assassination to top it all off. It was a product that was on a completely different level in all senses. He was supposed to be sent to a Yakuza family, who was one of their top clients, but there was a mistake in delivery, and instead of Japan, he was sent to Korea. The director starts praying and says that it has been 5 years since then. He gave up thinking that he would have died, but he thanks God for returning him to them, and as such, he orders the nun to go and find him no matter what she has to do. We learn that her name is Rachel, and she complies with the order and says that she will start with the collection process right away, and that if something were to go wrong, she would just use force. We are fully introduced to her, Dead Mansion trainer Rachel, responsibility and specialty currently unknown, but the director asks her, what is she saying? And orders her to bring him back without hurting him too much and also to leave the gun since it's going overboard. Now, we switch scenes to Joseph's father, who is bowing down and apologizing for Joseph's behavior to Hyo's mom and that he would pay for Hyo's treatment cost, his mental care, and whatever else she requests as well. But she replies that nothing will change even if he does this, since it is not something that would end with a simple apology, which leaves Joseph's father speechless. Suddenly, his mood changes, knowing that it did not work, and he starts to get going, with Hyo's mom also being surprised by his behavior. He tells her that he believes efficiency is the most important thing in everything they do, but seeing how she has no intention of negotiations, he has no reason to keep wasting his time, and that he has plenty of other options he can expend. It is what he specializes in. While in the car, he complains that his nose is all stingy from the dust and stench and wonders how could she run her business in such a place, and orders his men to tear down the place and raise a building there, and asks about the condition of that kid and if they took care of it. His men reply that Assistant O is taking care of it, he should be done by now as well. At the hospital, we see Joseph, and he is complaining about how he knew that something was off about Cheyenne, and he also tells his father that he was saying something about the 3 principles that were engraved in him. And his father is confused and asks if it's something that is trending among kids these days. Joseph replies that he does not know either, and after that, but his father stops him in the middle and tells him to hold on. He asks the nurse if she could leave him alone for a bit. It would be really quick. As the nurse leaves and Joseph starts talking again, his father slaps him. He asks if he knows what he is mad about. It's not about bullying kids, which leads them to jump from the classroom. He does not care about that, but if he went to his house to finish things off, he should have handled it cleanly. The basics of work is to not do the same thing twice. He should take this chance to learn properly, as this is how adults handle things. We see Cheyenne getting kicked on his chest. The guy tells his men to get Cheyenne up again, and Cheyenne asks what are they doing, but the guy slaps him, and we hear the sounds of him getting beaten up, with a guy asking Cheyenne that it is not going as he planned, isn't it? Like the time he beat up kids of his own age, but it does not work the same way on adults, as young Master Joseph also became half-crippled due to him, so he should also repent for it. As they grab his arm and the guy stomps on it, Cheyenne screams in pain, while the guy tells him that this is how adults deal with things. Fast forward, and it gets evening, and Cheyenne mocks how he talked about adults dealing with things and puts his arm right back, while calling the guy dumb for not knowing the difference between a broken bone and a dislocated joint, saying something like this doesn't even come close to Rachel's punishments. He starts to think that things have gotten troublesome. He also cannot use his full strength without commands due to the 3 principles, but considers all of it enough to calm things down. While he is leaving and thinking about getting a new identity, he is suddenly noticed by Hyo's mom. She asks him why he looks like that. He greets her as well, thinking that it's getting even more troublesome. Fast forward, and he is at her shop speechless and not eating his food either. She tells him that he doesn't need to be polite and that she's fine, so eat a lot. Cheyenne's eyes widen as he takes the command to eat a lot and starts eating widely while confirming that he indeed thinks of Hyo's mother as his own parent as well. Seeing him eat like this, she tells him that he might choke and instructs him to drink some water, which he complies with. He thanks her for the food, and his mom chuckles, saying that it makes her happy to see him like this. Cheyenne asks if Hyo is doing better, and she puts up a brave front, saying that he's doing fine, of course. The doctor said the surgery went well, and now they just need to keep an eye on him. She says that Hyo is tough, so Even if he's going through hard times right now, he'll overcome it. She starts to tremble and cry, saying that while she can't do anything for him despite him being in such a state, she claims she wanted to destroy everything, like the pain in her heart. That guy's father, she wanted to tear him to pieces. Cheyenne overhears this, and when she looks back and apologizes to him for saying such things, she finds him gone already and gets confused about where he went. Now at Kwan's company, Kwan is giving the quarterly report and tells everyone that they've worked quite hard, and their Beongwoo construction company is here all due to their efforts. As he's giving his speech, one of the waiters asks a fat guy if he'd like some wine. Just as he replies to pour him some, he gets smashed with it on his face, and we see it's Cheyenne, who makes fun of him by telling him to have a full bottle instead. The guard notices him and attacks, but Cheyenne counters with the glasses in his hand. The guard compliments Cheyenne for being good at running, but suddenly notices the glasses blocking his fist. Though it's already too late, Cheyenne lands a kick right on his face. Cheyenne then picks up a few forks and throws them right at the oncoming guards, taking them all out with strikes to their heads. Another guy notices the sound and shouts to turn out the lights. They wonder who did it, and one of them replies that it's the blonde kid. Everyone starts to search for him, thinking he couldn't have gone too far. Upon hearing about him, Kwan realizes something as well. We see Cheyenne hiding under one of the tables with a knife in his hand as he recites the principles again. Seeing his chance, he rushes out from under the table and slashes many of the guards before they can react. He also remembers her words, and due to the first principle, he tries to complete her order of tearing them apart. Some guards notice him and try to attack, but Cheyenne pulls out the tablecloth, throws it at them, and with that cover, immediately jumps on them with the table. Suddenly, he gets attacked with a throwing knife, which he dodges, making the knife land on one of the guards instead. We see it's Mr. O, who find it disappointing that Cheyenne was able to dodge the attack and recalls that he thought he had broken his arm. Right when he's trash-talking, Cheyenne reaches him, grabs his hand, and smacks him on the face. Cheyenne then grabs his arm while telling him to watch carefully on how to actually break an arm as he completely twists it, and Mr. O shouts in pain. Suddenly, Cheyenne gets hit by a bullet, though it only leaves a scratch, barely missing him. We see it's Kwan, who says it's harder to aim than he thought. He walks downstairs while pointing the gun at Cheyenne as Cheyenne remarks that it'd be pretty hard to aim from that distance without being a pro. This prompts Kwan to ask Cheyenne if he's a pro since he seems quite knowledgeable, mentioning he's heard that kids in Korea do a crew thing or something like that, and asking if he's part of it. Cheyenne replies that he doesn't know about that, though if he were to say what he's affiliated with, it'd be H's snack shop. Knowing it's that shop, Kwan mocks it by calling it smelly and foul and asks if that woman told him to kill him or something. Cheyenne replies no, she told him to tear him to pieces. As Kwan is confused, Cheyenne quickly disarms him and punches him right in the face. Kwan grabs onto Cheyenne and asks if it's their revenge, but Cheyenne replies that it's not something like that. He then punches Kwan right in the face again, smacks him down on the ground, and recites the first principle that a parent's command is absolute. He starts to walk away. Kwan says that efficiency is the most important when working, and he knew he should have taken care of it properly back then, adding that next time he'd take care of all of them. Cheyenne asks why he's spouting such useless things. He then shoots the chandelier while reciting the third principle, that when there's a possibility of parents being in danger, break through the current situation. He leaves, saying like father, like son, and that they're both very alike. Now we switch scenes as a nurse asks Joseph if he feels uncomfortable somewhere. He replies if she can't see it herself. She tells him she heard that school violence is really scary these days, and this is the first time someone has been this hurt. She guesses the guy who hit him was really good at fighting, though she still calls it too much. Joseph replies that yeah, it did hurt a lot. The nurse then asks what he and his father were talking about, principles or something, as they mentioned it. Joseph notices the medicine and says its color looks funny, but the nurse tells him not to worry about it and that he won't die if she only uses half of it. As she removes her fake wig, we see it's Rachel, and we finally get a full overview of her specialty: disguise, undercover, interrogation, and torture. Fast forward, and we see Rachel contact the director to tell him about a problem, informing him that codename Sean has exerted force. The director is taken aback by this and asks what she means. She replies that they tracked him and arrived at the scene, but he was already gone and there are seriously injured adult men on the scene. Even if it was him, it should have been impossible due to the 3 principles. The director gets concerned upon hearing that, as it doesn't make sense and has never happened in the history of Dead Mansion. There's a reason it's called the 3 absolute principles. He tells Rachel that if he's breaking the 3 principles, something must be wrong, and he's concerned that the weapons they sold at Dead Mansion might ignore their commands and aim for them instead. He tells her they're changing the objective right now and orders her to investigate Sean first, observe him closely, and find out if he really used force without permission. She replies, understood, and that if she needs any support in Korea, she can ask the White Tiger workforce. We see 2 guys who wonder if it was really done by a middle schooler, saying sorting it out is going to make his hair fall off. She informs the director that she found Smoker and Barcode Head and will start observing when she leaves the scene. She walks past both of them, completely ignoring them while they stare at her clothes. Smoker wonders if kids these days call that clothes, and Barcode Head replies that she's Russian, and they're quite open-minded. They talk about how their manager is always out at times like this, and wonder if he's still in menopause. The other one replies that he's been given other work to do by their boss now. The next day at school, Rachel has already finished her preliminary investigation on Shaw. She found that he attends the middle school here, and his parents are abroad on paper, though they're unidentified fake parents. She wonders what he's doing here, and says she'll dig it all up. She gets excited thinking about how their Sean grew up to be. She remembers that he was the best among all the children she taught. He wielded every weapon she taught him perfectly. She can't believe he grew independent of a mission. As she arrives at Shaw's classroom, she observes him talking to his friend, telling his classmates that it was all Joseph's doing and mocking him by imitating his expression. She gets surprised and wonders if that vulgar child is really Shaw. As he's talking to his friend, someone behind him tells him he's so noisy and to just let him sleep while cursing at him. Hearing this, Cheyenne gets upright and looks him straight in the eye. Rachel wonders if it's a hierarchical fight, as it used to be done a lot in Dead Mansion, a fight to establish strength. She calls it adorable how they even try to fight her, and every time they fought, Shaw always came out as the strongest. But she gets surprised upon seeing him on the ground and wonders in shock what just happened. She's left speechless seeing him get beat up like this, as he apologizes to that fat guy. She then goes in and starts to teach his class, since she's acting as a teacher in school after all, and assumes he can't carelessly show off his strength here, as he's trying to hide his identity. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more amazing manhwa stories. See you in the next one.